What's up, guys? I'm relentlessMC, and today I'm going to be tackling an issue that most people have when starting out with Vorkath, the acid phase. I feel like all of the other phases of Vorkath are very self-explanatory and super easy to learn. I think, myself included, most people's struggle with Vorkath and learning this fight is the acid phase. And I'm going to show you what most people are doing wrong. And it's not even really what they're doing wrong, just how to stop themselves from taking damage on the acid phase. So before I even get into this fight, I would like to ask for forgiveness in advance, because it has been a long time since I've done Vorkath. So bear with me. It's been a long time since I've done Vorkath. A friend of mine requested a video to help him. I asked him. He said he's been struggling with Vorkath. I gave him some starting supplies because he wants to make some money. He's got like 14 days. But long story short, he hit me up today. He said he died 6 times and gave up. And I asked him, what were you struggling with, the acid phase? And he said, yes, everything else I had down, which is exactly what I figured was the same for me. I was very frustrated when I first started. And I've talked to quite a few people, friends and people I don't really know too well as well, who all have the same problem, and it's the acid phase. It's the only phase of Vorkath, the only mechanic that people are kind of like confused by or just don't understand what they're doing wrong. And hopefully I can fix that for you. So first of all, here's the issue. I'm just going to describe it before I even start. Problem with the acid phase is not the acid phase itself or what you're doing. Well, it's kind of what you're doing, but it's unknowingly. It is actually the problem is with the RuneScape mechanics. Now, here's the problem. When you click on a destination, what you see is your player still walking, but in the game, you are already stopped. There's like a 2-tick delay from what you see and from what's happening in the game when it comes to movement. So, when you think you're still walking to that tile, the game has you already registered as being there. Now, I'm using a tool, a plugin in via RuneLite called Tile Indicators, which highlights the tiles that you click on. This will make it it'll be very helpful for you to identify when your player has stopped according to the game versus what you see. The tile indicator will disappear about 2 tiles before you arrive to your destination. When that tile disappears, your player is considered stopped moving in the game. So what the game sees is you're stopped moving right here. You don't stop till like 2 more ticks after, at least 1. It's hard to tell. I would say 2 ticks afterwards. So using RuneLite is going to help you a lot, but you don't need RuneLite. I mean, really what you can do to avoid this issue or to resolve your problem with this mechanic is just always continue moving and click long before you arrive at your destination. Now, it doesn't matter if you're going in a circle around Vorkath or if you're just moving back and forth between 2 locations. It can be a 3-tile location. You can have like a 5-tile strip. You can go back and forth across the whole map. It doesn't matter. As long as you are clicking before you arrive to your destination and before like that RuneLite indicator disappears. But if you're not using RuneLite, you don't need RuneLite for this. That just helps. But if you're not using RuneLite, just know that as long as you're clicking about 2 tiles before you arrive at your destination, you are going to be just fine and you won't take any damage from the fireballs during the acid phase. Now, another problem that people have with the acid phase, which is it's not as, common, but it is something that, I feel like a lot of people get wrong, is don't be afraid to walk into a few pieces of acid. If you're surrounded by a bunch of acid and you want to get to a cleaner strip where you can move a little more freely to avoid the fireballs, don't be afraid to walk over 1 or 2 tiles of acid to get there. It's much less damage. I would much rather take a little bit of damage and have Vorkath healed from that damage than take a huge fireball hit, which could, potentially kill you for that round and cost you 100k. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to walk over a few pieces of acid to get into a cleaner area. Alright, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start this and give a live demonstration. Again, bear with me. It has been a long time since I've done Vorkath. I was requested to make a video from a friend, and felt like might as well share it with the public if I'm going to be making a video anyway. Another thing I like to do is I like to keep my run off. The only time I really want to run, or where you really need run in this fight, is going to be the fireball, when the fireballs come out, the big ones. And you can just hold the control key for that. So basically during this whole fight, the way I have it, I have kind of like a claw over the left side of my keyboard. My thumb's on the control button, and my fingers are at the F keys. So if I ever need to run, I can just hold the control and run. All right, so here's an acid phase. Now, as long as you keep moving, if you just click before you get to that destination by at least like 2 tiles, you're never going to take damage from the fireball. That's it. And it doesn't have to be, you can go up and down, left and right. You can walk around in circles. It doesn't matter. Also, don't be afraid to turn your prayer off during the acid phase, because you do not need prayer for that. Since if you do it right, you're not taking any damage from anything. See, and then I just hold the control key, click away. I'm slacking. It's been a while. Another tip here, while I'm at it, might as well. I cut my DPI in half from Vorkath because I was getting a lot of misclicks. I used to run 800 DPI. I cut my DPI in half to about 400, to exactly 400 DPI, and it helps me. The difference is night and day. I have not made a single misclick on the undead spawn since. So if you find yourself misclicking at the undead spawn, quite often, do not be afraid to lower your DPI. It's going to help you a lot. Also, here I'm wasting prayer points again. And that's it. I hope that this helped you. That is, honestly, I had the same exact problem. 100% had the same issue. I was raging. I was literally raging. I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. And I was just flaming Jagex mechanics, which, in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, it was actually Jagex mechanics was the reason I was failing, but it was my lack of understanding of them. I don't know why it is that there's a delay, where you're stopped moving, but on your screen you still have 2 more tiles to travel to your destination. I don't know why that is. But yeah, that is the main issue that people end up having with acid phase, is that delay. And yeah, as long as you know that and you keep yourself moving, keep your run off, just because it buys you more time. You can do this with your run on if you really want. It's just you arrive at your destination a lot 4 or 5 tiles before you're actually there. So as long as you keep that in mind, you see how the RuneLight plugin is so perfect for this, because it knows when you're actually at your destination, not when you see yourself at your destination. So that helps a lot. But still, just I personally just keep my run off. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I hope this helped. And yeah, good luck. Peace.